Hello and welcome to the Inspiring Life School podcast. This is your host, Frances Vidakovic, and on this podcast, I'll be sharing with you the most valuable strategies to live your one wildly beautiful and most precious life. Because this is it, my friend. In case you haven't guessed, when it comes to life, there's no rewind or pause button that exists. They say that the way that you spend your days is the way that you spend your life. So my one and only goal here is to help you stop wasting your time, stop holding yourself back in life, stop experiencing non-stop negative mind chatter, stop just dreaming without doing, and start living life fearlessly instead, with more purpose, focus, and intention. I sincerely want you to live life in a way that when you come to the end of it, you know deep down in your heart that you 100% gave it your all, flaws and all. This podcast is not about doing life perfectly. Instead, it is about experiencing and living life with more clarity and courage and truly appreciating this precious adventure that we are so blessed to be on. So if you're with me here today, it's time to stop spinning in circles, get off the hamster wheel for good, put your hands back on the steering wheel of your life, and finally start living life in a way that you won't later regret. With that being said, let's dive on in. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Inspiring Life School podcast. I'm your host, Frances Vidakovic, and today we're going to be chatting about the 6 simple steps to help you achieve any goal. Literally any goal. Now, I actually recently spoke about this on social media, and I thought it'd be really fun to record an episode on this specific topic so that you can come back and revisit it whenever you have a new goal that you want to chase and want to go after. So really, when it comes down to achieving any goal, there are just 6 simple steps, and they go as follows. So step 1 is to be super clear what your goal is and why you want it so bad. Step 2 is decide what actions you need to take in order to achieve this goal. Step 3 is to decide each day what your next action step will be and trust that you know what your next right step is. And then you have step 4, which is to analyze your results and game plan consistently. And then you have step 5, which is to expect in advance that there are going to be challenges and obstacles along the way. And step 6, aim to stay in full belief and manage your human brain along the way, every single step along the way. So I want to delve deeper into each of the steps. So why don't we just start with step 1? So step 1 is this, okay? Be super clear what your goal is and why you want it so bad. So what this means is, let's just say you have a goal to lose weight. Why do you want it so bad? Now, your why probably isn't so that you look superficially better to the outside world. Your real why will be something along the lines of because you are tired of wearing clothes that, hug and tug you around the waist, okay? Like I used to always say, it was almost like wearing a floaty around your waist. You're tired of walking around the shopping mall and not even recognizing that person that you see in the mirror. Like, who is that person? You're tired of going to the beach and not feeling confident enough to jump into the ocean and swim with abandon with your kids. Like, you're tired of feeling self-conscious. You're tired of feeling constantly lethargic and drained. You want to feel lighter. You want to look better. You want to wear clothes that you love. You want to eat without guilt and shame. Your true why is because you desperately want to let go of that heaviness. So I'm going to share with you another example. Let's just say you have the example to start a new business. Your why, isn't probably just so that you can be super rich, okay? But what's your real why? It's probably because you're tired of waking up and working 9 to 5 to grow someone else's business. You're tired of having a dream and watching it die inside of you. You're tired of doing work that you hate or working with people that you honestly wouldn't care if you never saw them again. You want to challenge yourself in different ways. You want to take more risks. You want to see what you're truly made of. And you're never going to discover it if you're just sitting in this tiny little office that you hate day after day after day. Your true why is to take a chance on yourself on achieving financial freedom. And so I'll share with you one more example. Let's just say it's to write a book. So why do you want it so bad? Okay, that's a question you're going to ask yourself. And your why probably isn't to have it hit the bestsellers list, okay? It'd be nice to have, but what's your real why? It's probably because you have words that are inside you that are desperate to be expressed, desperate to be let out. You feel as if you've got something special to share with the world, and it pains you so bad not to give those ideas an outlet. It hurts you to have this little dream just to write a book and just to keep ignoring it every single day. Your true why is that you need to get the words out, and you know you'll regret at least not trying. So I want you to dig deep when it comes to any goal that you are setting and find your true why when it comes to, the real reason, the real reason why you want it so bad. Then, only then, will you move on to step 2. So step 2 is this, okay? Decide what actions you need to take in order to achieve this goal. Now, this step is actually really a 2-part process, and most people get stuck on the second part, which is pinpointing the actions required to achieve their goals. But the truth is, this is actually the simple part of the equation. In order to achieve your goal, most of the answers can be found on Google. If you want to start a podcast, Google will tell you how to do it. If you want to have better relationships with others, once again, Google is going to point you in the right direction to at least some steps that you can get started with. Within minutes, you can have a long list of possible actions that you can take to achieve any goal. Okay, all you need to do is Google how to do X, Y, or Z, and you will find an answer. But the real work, okay, with this step, so I'm going to repeat the step for you. The step was decide what actions you need to take to achieve this goal. The real work comes from actioning the first word, okay? Decide, making a decision. You need to decide that you're prepared to do things a little differently from here on. You need to decide not to be confused about this decision anymore. You need to decide that you're going to get up when that alarm bell wakes you up in the middle of a morning, like instead of hitting snooze again and again. You need to decide that you're willing to experience negative emotions like discomfort in order to achieve your goal. And trust me, the feeling of discomfort will 100% come up for you. And you need to decide that you're willing to fail, but you're going to try anyway. You need to decide that you don't care what other people think, and you don't care that they don't love your goal as much as you do. You need to decide that you're okay with being vulnerable and imperfect along the way. You need to decide that you're going to drop all those excuses about why you can't do something and focus instead on what is inside your control. You need to decide that your life is super precious, and the alternative, which is probably staying stuck and staying confused and staying in the exact same spot as you've always been or where you are right now with that little dream slowly dying inside you. To stay in that place would actually be way more painful than just giving the goal a go. So you need to decide that you can do it and that you will, and that nothing will stop you. And finally, you need to decide that on the days that you don't feel like you can do it, when you feel tired and discouraged, you're still going to show yourself lots of grace and compassion. You're going to allow yourself the space to pause and breathe and rest, and then slowly pick yourself back up and keep on moving forward. This is what step 2 really looks like in action. And once you've done that, you made the decision, okay, you know your action steps, we then move on to step 3. So step 3 is decide each day what your next action step will be and trust that you know what your next right step is. So here's probably what will happen when you wake up each day if you have a normal human brain. Okay, you've got a goal, but guess what? You're probably not going to want to do your actions. You'd probably prefer to sleep in or watch Netflix or scroll through social media or do anything rather than take the actions that are going to make you feel uncomfortable and that will stretch you. And for the record, like all those things that I said, like sleeping in and watching TV, they probably don't make you feel uncomfortable. Okay, that's why they're so easy to do. But in order to achieve your goals, you're going to need to be willing to step outside your comfort zone. And remember, you've already decided that you have a goal and you know your why. So the next thing that you need to do is honor that commitment to yourself. So just a little side note here. You know how it really sucks when people make an arrangement with you, like they agree to be your +1 at a party, or they agree to help you with something, and then the very last minute they back out and they've got some crappy lame excuse like, oh no, I know I said I was going to do it, but I don't feel like doing it anymore. Please do not be that person to yourself. This is how you erode trust with yourself. You need to do your very best to keep the promises that you make to yourself. Do what you say you will do, or don't even make those promises to begin with. So as for the second part of this step, it requires that you trust that you know what your next step is going to be, okay? What the next right step is. And how can you be sure what the next right step is? It's simple. Just ask yourself, what is the next right baby step for me to take? And listen to the answer that comes to you, okay? It is inside of you. And for the record, I don't know is not a good enough answer. If you think that you don't know, I want you to think that what would someone wiser than you recommend that you do next? What do you think I would tell you would be your next right step? And once you have your answer, trust that it is the right action for you to take, okay? No second guessing, no, yeah, but maybe I should really do this or that instead. Enough with that crap. You've decided, you made a decision, you decided it's right, and the way that we make any decision right is just by deciding it's right. That's it. It's that simple. You choose your actions, you do the actions one day and one baby step at a time. This is what step 3 looks like in real life when it comes to achieving your goals. Hey my friend, I just want to pop in and share with you the most amazing news that Inspiring Life Academy is finally open for enrollment. So inside the Academy, you are going to find every single course that I've ever created in my business to help you manage your mind, time, and life in a way that finally gets you the results you truly want. And I'm not kidding when I say it includes literally everything. There is over 50 courses and coaching roadmaps included inside with a total value of over $3,000. So to access this membership today at a super low founding members price, please make sure to check out inspiringmumlife.com/academy. That's inspiringmumlife.com/academy. Now, I have no idea how long the doors to the Academy will stay open, so if you're curious, I encourage you to check it out today, and I can't wait to see you inside. And then you have step 4. Okay, so step 4 is analyzing your results and game plan consistently. Now, I think that we all know that quote by Albert Einstein, who said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And yet that is what so many of us do when it comes to our goals. We take actions over and over again, and then we wonder, well, why in the world aren't we getting any closer to our goals? So some examples here include you might take actions at a time in the day when your productivity and creativity is always at the lowest. Okay, you recognize it, but then you continue to do it. Or you might take actions, but do it from this negative mindset. You might be thinking the entire time, well, this is never going to work. I don't even know why I bother. Or you might take actions without analyzing the ways that you can tweak it to be even better and then consequently improve your results. So I want to share with you a little story here. I remember going once to the gym. Okay, it didn't happen all the time, but there was this one day that I went and I spent 30 minutes on the treadmill, but I was doing it with the least amount of effort possible. Now, next to me, there was another woman and she was going full speed, like seriously, like she'd run like to, until she was out of breath. And then she'd bring the speed back down to pace herself. And then she'd increase it again when she was ready to go hard again. So by the end of that 30 minutes, she was sweating. Okay, she looked totally exhausted. Well, I was a little bit tired because I'd spent the entire time playing like these games, like the game of solitaire, like the treadmill has a screen where you can play games. That's what I was doing. So we both walked out of that gym that night with the same action completed. We spent 30 minutes on the treadmill, but the spirit with which we took that particular action looked completely different. And then of course, like because the spirit and the way that we approached that task was different, it would ultimately produce in the end 2 very different results for us in the long term. So think about the way that you are approaching the actions that you are taking. What are the thoughts you are thinking inside your own head? What's the energy that you are bringing to the table when you're taking those actions? And as for the second part of this step, which is all about analyzing your results and like tweaking and improving your game plan along the way, the simplest way to do this is by asking yourself the following questions. What's working or what's not working, and what do you need to do differently in the future, okay, to improve your results? And ask yourself these questions every week. You can even do them every day if you want. And be brutally honest with yourself when it comes to your answers, okay? You don't want to lie to yourself, because when you lie to yourself, you're only hurting yourself. And make sure that you're paying super close attention to the thoughts you are thinking while you're taking your actions. Are your thoughts positive? Are they full of belief? Because remember, your thoughts will ultimately impact your feelings and then actions and your results in life. That is why thought work is such an integral part of working on any goal. This is what step 4 looks like in real life. And then we move on to step 5. So step 5 is this: expect in advance that there are going to be challenges and obstacles along the way. Honestly, like the reason that people get so stumped when it comes to chasing their goals is because they don't understand that this is a reality, okay? People sit there and they wish that it could be super easy. They wish that, all the people around them would behave exactly how they want them to behave, like not to bother them, not to annoy them with requests, not to add more to our plate. We also wish that the road ahead could be super smooth and so that we could just like glide over it with ease. But that isn't the way it works when it comes to chasing your goal. The road ahead is going to be rocky. If you were roller skating, and fun fact, I used to love roller skating as a kid, you would trip and fall at least 100 times, okay? There are going to be bloody knees and tears of frustration on that road when you are chasing your goals. There are going to be hurdles and twists and turns and sometimes even jump scares. And if you start this journey not knowing this, you're going to turn back around super soon, super quickly. You're going to think, oh my gosh, like I didn't sign up for this crap. I want the easy version where goals just fall into my lap. But truth bomb time, like that easy road does not exist. That is why you need to know this in advance. You need to be prepared in advance. You need to know that challenges and obstacles are normal, okay? Totally normal. In fact, they are a sign that you are on the right track. And you 100% have it in you to get past those obstacles. You might just not have discovered this about yourself yet. So why would anyone want to keep on going? You might be thinking, okay, like I've probably given you it's like almost super scary. Why would I want to do that? Well, the answer is simple. It's because of who you become while walking along this rocky road. It's because of how you discover along the way what you are truly made of. This is how your resilience and strength comes to light. It's through the hardships that you face. It's by facing them, not by running away from them. And this new place, or even just the road that you are walking, it feels so freaking amazing because it makes you come to life. It makes you feel alive. And that journey is worth the trek. In fact, it is 1,000,000 times better than staying stuck in a place that you don't love. This is what step 5 looks like in real life when you apply it. Which brings us to the final step, step 6, and it's this: aim to stay in full belief, and manage your human brain every step along the way. So step 6 is the one that trips most people up when it comes to setting and chasing their goals. They allow fear and doubt and overwhelm and confusion to constantly get in their way and sabotage their efforts. And why? Okay, well, number one, they have those feelings because they have a human brain. In life, it is totally normal to experience all the human emotions. Okay, it's normal to feel fear, it's normal to feel doubt, it's normal to feel overwhelmed and confused and so on. But what we often forget is that it's optional. Okay, it's optional what you choose to think and do when you feel this way. So I want you to imagine right now that you are in a pool swimming around in a sea of fear. In fact, okay, so fear is everywhere around you and you feel like you're drowning in this pool. So the logical thing to do right now would be to try and find a way out, okay? To try and swim to the edge or to ask for help or do whatever you can. Like even if you need to slowly tread water, you're going to be making your way to the edge so you can get out. But the illogical alternative would be just to stay there and drown in that pool of fear, or to float around on a lilo. We call it a lilo in Australia. I don't know what else those, like little floaty beds are called in other countries in the world. But you wouldn't be floating around on a lilo for hours on end, speaking about how terrible it is to be in this pool. I mean, I hate it, but I'm not going to do anything to get out. Okay, that's crazy. But so many of us do exactly that when it comes to trying to achieve our goals. But the way to get out of that pool is by managing your human brain and doing your best to stay in full belief that the goal you want is possible for you. That's all you need to do. Believe that it's possible for you. Okay, it doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but it just needs to be possible. And you need to believe that about yourself. Now, of course, negative thoughts are going to constantly creep back into your brain, okay? You're a human, that's going to happen. But your job is to steer your mind back to the thoughts that you want to be thinking instead every single time. And the way that we get better at this is by practice. Okay, you fall in the pool, you get back out again. You fall in again, you get back out. What eventually happens is that you learn to swim to that edge just a little bit quicker each time. Okay, it's not to say that you're never going to fall in, but you know what you need to do to get out. Now, this is a step that you'll probably need to spend most of your time working on while you're chasing your goals. And it's okay. Okay, I'm telling you in advance, this is where we spend most of our time. If you decide in advance that you're going to be spending time and energy getting this part right, managing your human brain and doing what you can to shift your mind back to the thoughts that keep you in full belief, once you master this, you're pretty much unstoppable when it comes to achieving your goals. This is what step 6 looks like, my friend. And if you follow just those 6 simple steps, so step 1, be super clear what your goal is and why you want it so bad. Step 2, decide what actions you need to take to achieve your goal. Step 3, decide each day what your next action step will be and trust that you know what your next right step is. Step 4, analyze your results and game plan consistently. Step 5, expect in advance that there are going to be challenges and obstacles along the way. And step 6, aim to stay in full belief and manage your human brain along the way. That pretty much is going to guarantee that you get to your goal, okay? With that little added ingredient of never, ever, ever giving up. So I know this has been a longer episode than usual. I hope that you have appreciated it. It really is pretty much a secret, simple formula to help you get to any goal. So as always, my friends, you know I love and appreciate you all. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to catch you on the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to the Inspiring Life School podcast. I really appreciate you allowing me to be a part of your life. If you'd love to stay in touch, please know that you can always find me on Instagram at Frances Vidakovic, or you can visit my website, inspiringmumlife.com, where you can sign up and receive so many amazing freebies that I've created just for you to help you implement all my teachings into practice. There you'll also find all my online courses, resources and programs that I've created to help you uplevel your life in seriously the simplest way possible, so that you can ultimately create for yourself a life that feels simpler, lighter, and allows you to show up in a way that you love as your best and most authentic version of yourself. Now remember, this podcast is all about not just dreaming but also doing, because to create true sustainable change in your life, you need to be willing to do things differently. And that's what I'm here to support you to do every single step along the way, so that you too can begin to live your one wild and precious life with less stress, less overwhelm, less drama, and instead with zero regrets. Finally, if this podcast resonates with you at all and you appreciate the content, I would absolutely love for you to show your support by leaving me a review on Apple Podcasts. I'm on a mission to help more people wake up to the preciousness of life and to help them live their days with more intention and purpose, and your review will help make this goal of mine possible. Well, once again, thank you so much. I have loved spending this time with you, and I look forward to connecting with you again. I am Frances Vidakovic, and you have been listening to the Inspiring Life School podcast.